the summer of 2010, this starts to come into real focus, and this battle line between our structures and changing and transforming the structures that we take for granted. It's just inevitable that this is going to happen now. And for individuals, it's the same thing. And it makes sense that what's happening on the grander scale is going to be reflected on the smaller scale as well. And for this individual, we have the battle between the 4th and 10th house, or home and emotion, versus career and being out there, being squared by Pluto in the 2nd house of self-worth and money, of values, etc. And so this person is really battling with, what do I value? Do I value? If this person has always been out, in the field, in their career, then they might be questioning and valuing, do I value the home more, or my emotions, or how I feel more? If they've been sort of stuck back and held back for any reason, could be family reasons, etc., then this could be a time where they're questioning, maybe I do value having a career and having myself, my voice, especially with this individual, their voice and what they have to say out there for other people to hear. And so this is, just the themes that are currently going on. And when 2010 hits, the summer of 2010, it'll be a build-up from now until then. These issues are really on the table. And it's very important for this individual to just kind of hang in there, because they have the fortitude, they have what it takes to get through it, but it's going to seem insurmountable at times over this period. You just stick with it, head where you're heading, and you'll get there. And you'll get there, and you'll probably grow more than you expected in the process. So what other themes can we see from other techniques, other charts? I mentioned I look at other charts, one of those being a solar return chart. Okay, and so the solar return chart happens once a year, right around your birthday. This person just had a birthday, about mid-September, September 11th, actually, believe it or not. And so September 11th was this person's birthday, so they had a new solar return chart. The sun was back in the same location of the zodiac as it was when they were born. And that sets up a whole new theme, a whole new chart, and that's this chart right here for this particular year. It's good for 1 year, and I know it's hard to tell, but it's a very different looking chart than the one we just looked at, his natal chart. And so this is specific to this year, from September of 2009 through September 2010. So it covers the time period that I talked about. This is more general themes. That can be a little more specific. If I was to get into the time frames specifically, I can get really, really on the head with times of things, but this is, again, a little briefer for other reasons. And so some of the general themes in this solar return chart, number one being that Sagittarius is rising in their chart. Natally speaking, when he was born, he had Jupiter right on the horizon, the eastern horizon. And so that's similar to this Sagittarian rising. Also, with the first house in Sagittarius at 23 degrees Sagittarius, that's in his natal first house. So all of that, I know it's, might not know what that means, but all of that combined with Pluto in the first house of the solar return chart, that says to me that this is a year of this person being very self-based. I don't want to say self-ish, but self-based. They are going out into the world as themselves, not responding to the world. Okay, and so this individual is, and especially with regards to things having to do with that 9th house realm, or that Jupiterian realm, which is the higher learning and publishing and speaking and engaging in large-scale information exchange, like on the internet, for example. These are things that are really, really fueled up, and they're part of his natal intention anyway. They're part of his natal chart, part of his sort of life focus and life purpose as it is. And the 9th house here in the solar return is pretty lit up. I mean, we're talking about Mercury, Saturn, and the Sun being the focus of this chart, all in the 9th house, all suggesting that this is a year of potentially learning something new, teaching something, some kind of large-scale information exchange. And since we know this person is into that, we know that they like this, this is a big year for them. And again, with Saturn going through their 10th house, as you mentioned, it is a big year for establishing themselves in this realm. Now, also, there is some activity in, for example, the 7th house of relationships, the Mars in the 7th house. Mars being this planet of aggression and action and energy in general. And that's opposing Pluto in the 1st house. So 1st house and 7th house are kind of across the chart. And I will put these charts up in the blog so you'll be able to see the charts labeled and what I'm talking about. So Pluto being in the first house over on the bottom, sort of on the left side, Mars on the right side of that chart. Now, so with Mars opposing Pluto, that's a lot of intense energy. That's a lot of like feeling like, you know, all that energy of Pluto in the 1st house trying to move forward, trying to release this person, you know, the first try to release themselves and be themselves in some way. They can feel quite opposed by other people in their life. This could be a partner, you know, a marriage partner or business partner or some partner of some kind will appear to them, will be perceived by them to be against them, perceived by them to be a source of anger and a source of sort of prevention of what they're trying to do. And all this is squaring Mercury in the 9th house, so this could easily be an argument about beliefs with someone. Here's this individual trying to bring forth their beliefs, bring forth their ideas and their voice. And they're going to feel opposed at times this year. And that's okay, because that's part of the growth, part of getting over those issues of feeling like they didn't have a voice and what they had to say wasn't important, and kind of feeling, you know, hurt by the fact that they just don't ever feel like they have anything good to say. And, you know, that issue in the very, you know, the background of this individual is healing right now. And this is an opportunity to sort of prove that it's healed. You know, you break your ankle, and you start saying, hey, it's healed, it's healed. You know, we don't believe it's healed until you get back on the field and start playing. And so this is a time to get back on the field and start playing and to test to say, okay, I'm being challenged with my ideas. How do I want to react? How do I want to deal with it? So this is an opportunity period. You know, not to say this is going to be an easy opportunity, but it's an opportunity period to deal with opposition to your ideas. And I'm speaking to the client in that sense. There's also a lot of activity going on in the money houses, the 2nd house and the 8th house. So there is some sense of over-optimism with regards to funds this year and where funds are going to come from with the new ventures that he might be going on. But there is also the sense with Venus in the 8th house that, you know, when it's needed, you know, that money might be there, support might be there, resources might be there.